guys, welcome back to another forecast and projections. This is for our new moon in Virgo taking place August 27th, 2022. So, with the moon in Virgo, your feeling of safety is now related to order and clarity, even in emotions. So, funny enough, as I was shuffling the cards, one thing that came up was a five of Pentacles. So, isolation, right? So maybe you're going deeper into your emotions. Remember, we're going into a Mercury retrograde, so insecurity comes up. So check your emotions. Watch what you're saying. You may have the need to organize everything chaotic and disorganized. Try being more tolerant and accept improvisations of life. It is better to trust life and let it run its own way. Not everything must be according to our expectations. So, they were showing the Five of Pentacles. So, feeling insecure, feeling isolated. We're in our emotions, we're in our head, especially because of retrograde. It's hotter temperatures as well. You know what I mean? Like, while I'm filming this, it's like, the sun has gone down. It's supposed to be 21. It feels like it's 25, So it's just like, emotions are high. It's not even emotions are high. I just feel like we're intolerant because we're so hot and bothered. It's just like we're intolerant of things. I'm not a person that likes the heat. So pancreas, small intestines, scrotum, colon, digestive tract. So I suggest watching what you're eating at this time. Don't eat anything that's going to disrupt your system. Rectum, sinus organs, eyes, and ears. So I feel like I feel like intolerant. I feel like, I don't want to put up with much. I don't want to deal with much, in that aspect of things. So I would definitely sit there and, you know what I mean? When I feel like irritable, I sit there and I isolate myself. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to go near anybody. I'm just going to sit there and chill, find my balance. Higher self, meditation. So getting into our channel messages, there's not much because, again, it is very hot out. I'm not comfortable. So I feel like that's why it's like not potent as it usually is. And I definitely feel like, I didn't have time to like meditate today. So I feel like, it's hard to meditate when you're hot. So, they were showing in the Arctic, there's a submarine and they're spying. And I feel like, they're trying to find ways to um, gain ground in the Arctic. And I feel like they're going to go from the north to Canada. So I feel like they're going to go from Arctic to northern Canada and try to gain some momentum there. This is VP, you know. In the midst of trying to do this, they're saying submersion. They discover a species of octopus is what they're saying. Isn't that such a, like, you know what I mean? You want to reveal to the world as a scientist that this miraculous discovery you came accidentally upon, but at the same time, it's like you're kind of giving away what you're doing. You know what I mean? So, you know, I don't know. I don't know what that tyrant is thinking. It's like you've killed so many children and women and men for no needless reasons, and now here you go again, They're saying that they're gonna sink. They're not their submarines aren't very good. I don't know what it's like the lining or something in there. It's not it's just it takes on water by the time they figure out it sinks. So this is not a time to sit there and turn against people that are from that country because, at the same time, it's like a dictatorship. You don't do what he says, it's like you're gonna die. So it's like either way, you're gonna die. You know what I mean? They're just pawns in his chess game. You know what I mean? So I would take it as that. I wouldn't take it that they're sitting there and have that hatred in their heart, or that's like that's their plan. I would just take it as that. So we're gonna get into some channel cards. So this Ace of Cups, you know what I mean, really stood out to me. And I feel like, your cup is being filled with love. but I feel like it's people around you already in your life. Again with the threes. So we're getting a lot of threes. So maybe your dynamic is made of three, you know? I feel like they're filling your cup. I feel like you always fill others' cups, like the Queen of Cups, King of Cups, they of Cups. But I feel like in this case, they're filling your cup. We talk about the Ace of Cakes, Ace of Cups. It's like we think about like the universe filling our cup. I definitely feel like the universe fills mine. Um, you know, I feel like there's touches here and there. Like I know a certain setting where we all feed off of each other and we joke around just to make the day go a little faster. You know what I mean? Or it's just like venting and it just ends up being a joke. You know what I mean? I feel like it's just like, why not be a positive light in a situation that can't always be positive? You know what I mean? So it's just like it's like they're saying, making the most of it. It's what you make of it. So I feel like with this Ace of Cups, I feel like I don't know if the universe is sending you love in that way, or maybe they're saying that love that you're searching for is already around you. Maybe it's concentrating on the love around you. You know what I mean? But I feel like in this case, love is filling your cup. I love that. So another channel card, letting go. So it's the number 13. 1 plus 3 is 4. And they have this scroll. So I wonder if this is like channel messages because we have an angel here. Releasing the past can seem like a challenge, but it can also be liberating. Your angels will help you let go that you could fly higher than ever before. So maybe you're writing down, and I said like a way of releasing is writing down all your feelings and then burning it so no one reads it. Endlessly endings always herald new beginnings. Choices to allow the situation to lead you to a more joyful life. Change your life by changing your thoughts. Yes, definitely. Because if you're always pity party, you're always down, Debbie Downer. You know what I mean? That's how your life is always going to be. If you're always concentrating on the negative. So, Ace of Thought. This cherub arrives to congratulate you for your brilliant new idea, which is truly inspired. It's important to communicate clearly and thoroughly with others who are involved in the implementation of your ideas. So we got a lot of Three of Pentacles here. So you come up with something, and I feel like it's really gets everybody excited about it. You know what I mean? They're not laying out the details of it, but I definitely feel like the Three of Pentacles. Don't be disillusioned by little challenges along the way. These are merely course corrections to perfect your plan. Definitely. We can't sit there and it's like, we got to still work at it. Maybe you got to put it down. Maybe like a new, fresh set of eyes. We were getting a lot of the Hangman last week as well. And it's like, sometimes we have to sit there, and share our ideas with others. And that way they can sit there. That's why I always would go to Shane, in our relationship. And I'm like, here's the situation, what do you think, just to get a change of perspective of things, because it's just like when you sit there and you're always involved in something, it's hard to see um your way forward in it. You know what I mean? It's hard to see the solution. Sometimes it can be staring dead in your face. I had to turn off my ear to do this. I'm sorry, I've got to weigh my notepad here that I write my challenge messages on. Oh, it's hot. But I feel like with this, it's just like it's like you need to take a break from it or it's just like they're highlighting someone that I was talking about them last week, where it's like they're able to detach and not be emotional about certain things, and I'm just like, I envy that, and I respect that, because it's just like I know I say things and do things that I shouldn't be saying or doing out of emotion or anger, and I regret it, and I'm it's like I wish you know what I mean, I'm being more mindful of it, and it's just like learning to shut the F up and just distance myself until I calm down, so I don't say things I regret or do things I regret. You know what I mean? And they're just like calm, cool, and collected. So they're highlighting this person. So, like they said, the three there, they were saying the dynamic trio. You know what I mean? So I feel like something comes into fruition. I don't know if one of them came up with it or you're involved in it, but I feel like you are, in the sense that it's just like you're articulate, as they're saying. So communication is key here. You know what I mean? Key situations is what they're saying. Vitality. Funny enough, they're showing the Viking ruin destiny. We've been getting a lot of destiny this year. A lot of in the wording of the cards. They're showing like with the magician, your destiny. You know what I mean? This is your destiny. They were telling us that they were, some of us were, here for a purpose. Well, we're all here for a purpose, big or small, whatever it is. You know what I mean? You're still here for a purpose. Even when Tribal Chill said, even if they didn't want you, the universe, God wanted you here for a purpose. You know what I mean? No matter what that purpose is, you had a purpose. So I feel like with this, Ace of Thought, that there's like momentum building here. And I'm feeling positivity, and that's really awesome. So with our Viking rune, it's a channeled Viking rune, Destiny. The Gambler's rune, such as represents the cup of dice, so this is like the Wheel of Fortune. It indicates that influences in life may be down to to chance, and so go either well or not. The lesson here is to learn and take the hand you've been dealt and make lemonade out of lemons. So I feel like it could go well or not. I feel like it's like Mercury retrograde is definitely that. It could either go well or it can't. Some of us, I definitely recommend meditation. I did not think that it was such a big deal to meditate before we headed into retrograde, and I definitely assure you it is. If you're able to meditate, and like they said, your intestines are going to be a little sensitive. Sorry. They're saying like your intestines are going to be sensitive. So, I know that certain things, like I know mango, um, is something, especially since my gallbladder was removed. I know certain things, like, I know that I have to eat a certain way. Funny enough, I was talking about this with someone that I'm close to. And, we were talking about, I was like, you have this condition, so you have to eat according to that way. They were talking about like a food diary. So, knowing that we're sensitive at that during that period of time, it's like, okay, so let's stay away from things that, like, with me, with my gallbladder taken out, asparagus or anything like, really dark and greens. It sounds so weird, but it gets trapped, and it's hard, it makes me feel uncomfortable. You know what I mean? So it's like, especially when it's hot out, it's like that's the last thing you want to do. I feel like if you're cycling during that time, I feel like you're going to feel more bloated. I feel like you might feel a little more tense, especially if it's hot out. Like, you know what I mean? You're going to feel, you're already uncomfortable from the heat, but this to boot. You know what I mean? And if you're like me, where you run hotter during that time, it's just like, ugh. You know what I mean? So it's just like, be gentle with yourself at that time. So one of the runes that was standing out while I was looking for destiny was needs. And I feel like your needs will be taken care of. So again, that insecurity. It's like, why are we feeling this insecurity here? You know what I mean? Emotionally stable. So that's what I'm saying. It's like sometimes we feel a certain way, and it's like it's not because it's actually what's going on. We've built this emotional prison, all tied up, but they're not showing that. They're showing staying up, the Nine of Swords. It keeps us up at night. And it's like, you know what? It's what you make of it. It's what you make of situations. So like they're saying, it's a highly charged time. Watch what you're saying. Don't take things so personally. Maybe everybody's feeling this at this time. I feel someone's going to be sharp with their tongue. I'm not sure if it's because they're going through something themselves. More emotional turmoil is what they're saying. Someone playing games. Okay, well, that's not good. So maybe they're, lashing out on people. Maybe they're being sharp with their words. You know what I mean? So it's just like, just do what you need to do. And I would definitely, like I said, if you have that energy, that's what I do. If I feel like it's off, or if I feel like I'm not being the best I can be, I isolate myself. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to stay away from people. I'm not saying the kindest things. I'm not being the best me. I'm just going to keep to myself. Are you making enough time for yourself to balance work, play, and rest? Assuring that what our needs and where we may occur to be lacking to help to take better care of ourselves. So they're saying, like, in a financial way, it's like what is going out isn't coming in. That's what's going on with you emotionally. What you're putting out isn't coming back in a situation. So maybe that's where the universe is like, if your cups are being filled, 8 of Cups is what they're showing. Maybe it's time to move on to greener pastures. You know what I mean? Maybe it's time to end a friendship. Death card, Cut out a relationship, cut out a person, place, thing. Is this someone that is affecting you in a negative way? Are they downing your being a Debbie Downer? Are they bringing down your energy? You know what I mean? So with a change, that could switch things. You know what I mean? So it's like sometimes we got to be aware of what's surrounding us and what's causing it, because sometimes it's not even us. It's always someone. You know, like when Inside Out, when that's the sad one, and it's just like, ugh, you just want to push her off the ledge of that place in her head. It's just like, oh, oops, she fell off. We can't pour from an empty cup. It can also indicate delay, restrictions, and lack. This is a time to practice patience. Exactly. Practice patience. Just because it looks like that doesn't mean it's always going to look like that. So we're going to get into our cards. Guidance and of abundance. Sorry about that. This is a time of great success for you. All the plans are blessed and will move forward. Your plans are blessed and will move forward perfectly. Unexpected job opportunities arise in the near future. We keep getting this. I definitely gonna say from experience, where I feel like maybe that's where the insecurity could come in. You know what I mean? Talk about job layoffs and stuff like that. Because the economy has dropped from 8.1 to 7.6. You know what I mean? So people might start spending a little less. I don't think so, because, everybody's saving and doing everything they can, because borrowing is going to cost more with credit cards and such. So that's where you may spark some insecurity, especially with retrograde. But I feel like making rash decisions, wise decisions. You know what your goals are for financially in the future, so you need to make decisions based on that. Certain opportunities are not going to bring that. So it's just like they're saying sacrifice. So you're not, maybe have to give up something in order to keep that, whatever this is, like a job security, whatnot. I hope not for certain things, but it's just like, just keep that in the back of your mind. You know what I mean? Keep moving forward, keep putting your best foot forward, keep doing you. Don't worry about anyone else. Worry about yourself. Make sure to accept them. This card indicates that someone is an amazing career is involved in this situation. So remember, we're talking about threes. This is a powerful person with great intelligence who enjoys hard work. This person could be you. This person could be a leader around you. You know what I mean? This could be a coworker. I feel like someone's going to come in that with an opportunity. Again, I feel like I would assess, remember with retrograde, they were showing the Five of Pentacles. So you were feeling insecure here, and with the financial front, that affects our home, because usually this talks about, solitude and whatnot. Solitude, feeling, on the outskirts and stuff like that. But again, get out of your emotions. Keeps you up at night. Unless they sat there and said that they have given you a reason to feel a certain way, maybe then, but I still wouldn't jump the gun. Still putting your best foot forward. That's all you can do. If you have certain plans and aspirations, jumping from job to job is not going to get you there. They need to see stability. They need to see consistency, right? If you want to do certain things, we all know when they sit there and they look at your finances and they look like X, Y, and Z, if you're going from job to job to job, they're showing 3, they're showing 6. You know what I mean? So 3 months, 6 months. You know what I mean? It's just like, well, if you're jumping from a job at 3 months and 6 months, it's like, we're not going to sit there and take that risk with you, because you're a flip-flopper. You don't last at places. You know what I mean? Why is that? Oh, well, this, that. Well, you know what I mean? You keep doing that, people are going to start looking at you side-eye. So we have 10 of the action. Look what she's doing. She isn't tall enough to reach this basket. So what does she do? She starts to sit there and build up a ladder to get to the basket, to reach her goal. She's not afraid. You're working too hard. Here we go again. The angels are asking you to find a healthy balance between your career and your personal life. Ooh, remember what I said? The needs, and I said I was getting the destiny one. Be willing to ask for help from others in order to lighten your load so that you could take a better care of yourself. Straining too much makes others happy, can be harmful to your health. Yes. You know what I mean? You do not have to say yes to every single thing. You know what I mean? It's not, you know what I mean? Even financially, you know what I mean? Oh, hey, let's go here, let's go there. It's like, well, especially school being in, if you helping someone with a child, or if you have children yourself, or you know what I mean, you're spending, you know what I mean? It's just like, they need clothes, they need fees, they need books, they need this, they need that. You know what I mean? It's not even your foot is not even in the door yet, and you easily have already dropped close to $300 per person. With all the supplies you have to buy. This is everything they need for the school year. We all know that, erasers and pencils and markers and all that end up disappearing by October. You know what I mean? So it's just like, and then you got to buy all the clothes. Then you got to buy, the student cards, and you got to buy, pay what is that called? Not the duotang, like a calendar book, agenda. You got to buy the agenda. You got to, get the photos taken for the school photos and X, Y, and Z, So it's just like, I feel like maybe someone's like asking you to do everything. You know what I mean? And you don't have to say yes to everything. You know what I mean? They're saying go out in your own backyard. Go and enjoy, and they're showing in your backyard, sitting on your chairs and having a good time. You know what I mean? Do that instead. You don't have to go out and spend. They want to go out and spend, go ahead. Have at it. You know what I mean? If you have a budget, stick to your budget. Again, you know what your goals are. So to a thought. So it looks like he's trying to swoon her. But I feel like she's already being swooned by someone else. She's got letters. She got flowers. Here comes along someone else whispering sweet nothings. Ace of Cups. Ace of Cups. First channel card we got. Ace of Cups. Your cup being filled with love. The big heart could be you, and there's two other people around. This could, you know what I mean? Triangle. Make a wise choice. Get to know each other. Take it slow. Your angels have noticed you're not moving forward. You have multiple options before that you're reviewing, but you seem to be unable to choose. Ask your angels for signs as to what direction to take, or just listen to your own inner voice. Deep down, you know what to do, And that's the thing. You can't like I was saying earlier, you can't let other people's situations dictate what you do in life. You have certain goals in life. You have certain aspirations. You know what it's going to take to get you to that point. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, these are the things you need to work on, and you know what to do to start knocking those off, right? So now you're working on knocking those off. So if you start going against what you're trying to knock off on here, it's going to delay your to get into your goals. With determination and dedication, you will be the victor wearing the wreath here. You know what I mean? So that's where you got to watch yourself. So we have the Star card. This is from the villains, Disney villains deck. Love that. So it's like all about our manifestations. Retrograde has a funny way of things that didn't turn out when we wanted them to turn out, because we always are impatient. Like they said, patience is going to be something that plays important moving forward in this new moon cycle, as retrograde is present there. And it's like, okay, what is Virgo all about in this season? We're talking about this Virgo moon here, but it's also zodiac sign Virgo. We'll be under the sun of Virgo. You know what I mean? So it's just like, okay, what are we dealing with here? Well, they're highlighting Rosh Hashanah, right? It's a new year. It's time to swipe the slate clean. You know what I mean? So it's just like, asking for forgiveness. You know what I mean? Or just sitting there, or maybe you didn't make the best decision the first time around. Where you said no to something, and now you regret it and you wish you would have said yes to something. You know what I mean? Maybe you made a poor decision. You didn't do enough research. Or it wasn't that all that you thought it was going to be. You know what I mean? And it's just like, now you get a second chance to do it. The Star card is what they're saying, after a rough patch is a time of peace and harmony, right? Guardian angels are here to protect you. I definitely feel like they're on high right now. I definitely feel exhaustion. So that's why, I'm sure I don't feel exhausted this year. It's just the heat. It's just, it's just too much. You know what I mean? But I feel like it's like, giving you more time to do things. Like you're doing more things than, you know what I mean? It's just like things slow down in that aspect where you're able to do things with people you love. And that kind of aspect where it's just like doing fun things that everybody enjoys. I feel like we're able to go outside more. They're showing in warmer clothes. So they're showing in like a light spring jacket, maybe some jogging pants or leggings. You know what I mean? You're sitting in chairs. It looks like you have a warm cup of coffee. You know what I mean? They're showing a blanket on some people's laps. So it's like you're able to go outside and have fun. You're able to take in Mother Nature. You know what I mean? So it's just like absorb all that you can before, those cold days come and you can't really. You can go outside, but you be all huddled by the barrel here. You know what I mean? Magic mirror. Manifestations. Dreams come true. Balancing our emotions is the big thing here. Balance. You know, that's the thing we got to find here is our balance. They have 5 stars here. Change and transformation. What does she ask this magic mirror? Who's the most beautifulest in the land? She's asking someone else's opinion, right? And when you ask someone's opinion, you don't necessarily want to hear the truth. If she would have just sat there and she wasn't an ugly woman at all. If she just would have been happy with who she was, then she wouldn't have gone down the path that she did. You know what I mean? Just to be the fairest in the land. It's like, you know what? Just be happy with what you have. People just would freaking, want to be healthy and not, it doesn't even matter about looks or anything like that. They just want to be healthy. They just want to get their health back. And you're here sitting there, chasing this unrealistic, unidealistic of way of being beautiful. It's all artificial, you know? This is why they're bringing the robots out, because nobody can, live up to that standard. So we have the Queen of Coins. So I feel like you are the provider. I feel like you are, you know what I mean? Like your money is family money. Your money, you're a giver in that way. But remember the Queen of Swords they're showing from Game of Thrones, and it's like up to a point of self-preservation, up to a point where you sit there and are generous, but you sit there and, like they were saying on TikTok, if you have to give from your emergency funds, you can't afford to help someone out. If you know what I mean, if they ask for 100, to give them 50. They ask for 50, give them 20, give them 25. You know what I mean? But you got to sit there and, you know what I mean, because, like Judge Judy said, she goes, if you lend someone money, never expect to get it back. You know what I mean? Just sit there, self-preservation. You got to worry about, you know what I mean? Like I even said that to someone that helped me out. I said, I should never have to come to you. Not in a million years. I should have never had to ask you. I'm like, you are the last people I wanted to ask. Not in the sense like, you know what I mean? Like they're bad people, but it's just like, why do I always have to go to them? They're very dependable, but I don't want to ask them because they've helped me time and time again. And I feel like an ass. You know what I mean? And it's just like, I wish I could do something for them, articulate into words that they would, you know what I mean? They understand, but it's just like, I wish I could articulate that where I could be just like, damn, man, like, you guys mean so much to me. Not even the fact that you help me, that you just stand by my side. You know what I mean? In my darkest days, like, these people, and I say these because there was a group of people that had my back and didn't expect a damn thing in return. And that is so foreign to me. It's just like, you don't even know what to do. You know what I mean? You don't even know how to act or behave or articulate into words what it means because it's something new and foreign to you. So we have the Queen of Cups, giving from our cup. So this is maybe why they were pointing out exhaustion. They're saying let someone else take a turn. I don't know if this means someone that comes in with love is gonna. I feel like they'll make more money than you, which is totally fine. I feel like together, like you guys will be able to improve each other's life. You know what I mean? I definitely feel like able to afford better groceries. Like, I know a lot of families or people, period, doesn't matter who it is, anyone will sit there and take take 3-4 glances at their grocery list and see what they can live without, like to make it cheaper, till another week or 2 weeks, whatever it is. You know what I mean? And it's horrible. You know what I mean? Like they're bringing up the fact that butter is $10. It's like now it won't even matter because of the dual income. You know what I mean? So they're saying with the Queen of Cups filling other people's cup. That's why I feel like with this Ace of Cups, I feel like you're going to have love offerings. You know what I mean? I definitely feel like you already have love offerings around you, but it's just like, you know what I mean? It's, definitely the lessons I've learned. It's just like being patient and getting to know each other for, you know what I mean? But it's just like, in my situation, it's just like, who I fell in love with and who they transformed into is not the same person. You know what I mean? They'll let corporate America, corporate Canada get into them. You know what I mean? So, the private sector, and it's just like, I would bring up, but it's like, you know, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, da 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 da. So it's like, it's like, sometimes it's better to be quiet than fight. You know what I mean? But I feel like that's what they're saying here. It's like, like the Queen of Cups coins is sitting. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know if someone's making some love potion here because, Ursula's sitting there and, it's like from her sacral chakra. You know what I mean? Her sociability, her sexuality. When she makes the potion, she's making the potion for Ariel. I don't know if you're... I don't mess around with that stuff. It's like if the universe is meant, in my case, if God is meant, for something to be in my life, it'll happen. I don't mess around with none of that. So this is a minor message using our higher levels of thinking. You don't know all the information at hand, so have a seat, be patient, let the universe divulge it. Pay attention to dreams. I know my dreams have been potent lately. I actually shared it with a friend. I was just like, what do you, like, this is so crazy. But it's like, being patient, taking a step back, you know what I mean? Like, they're like, you'll have to go to your own sources. So this will be going on social media and X, Y, and Z, and seeing how this, unfolds, in that way. I remember I was being set up with someone. I definitely felt like it was way too early. I was just like, okay, whatever, maybe, whatever. Well, I'm open to it. We'll see what happens. And I did a little digging, and someone kept being tagged in their photos. And when I clicked on the person's name that was being tagged, and it was just like their whole life together. I was just like, okay. And then I had brought that information to the person that was trying to set us up, and I said, thanks, but no thanks. Like, that's a sign to me, like, take a step back. You know what I mean? Going to your own demise, not own demise, going to your own, they articulated it so well in the card, it's so odd I can't think. But going to your own, I don't know how you would put that. You're using your intuition here. You're sitting there and it's like going on social media. It's not like cyber stalking them. It's just like, oh, what are they interested in, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like music wise, like how much do we really have in common? And it's just like I said, this person was tagged in every single like thing, and I'm like, that's a little odd. Like, who is this? And they have a whole life together. I'm like, no, no, we ain't doing that. Wheel of Fortune. What were we talking about? Will it work out? Will it won't? What happens here with the spin wheel? If she touched the spin wheel here, and pricked her finger, she would go into this deep sleep until her true love kissed her. But that was never divulged. They all just thought, that's it. She's in endless sleep and she's gone. That's where she's going to spend the rest of her days. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I feel like the wheel is moving again. We did have definitely get a positive omen. On January 24th, if you haven't seen it, go take a look. Talking about, stuck situations are moving forward. Okay, well, let's figure that out. How do we figure this out? How do we move forward? You know what I mean? So this is what they're talking about here. A stuck situation gets moving forward, but look at the shadow behind it, the shadow side. So watch your shadow side. Watch the way that you're getting in your head too much. Maybe you're saying things you shouldn't. I definitely feel like spewing things you shouldn't be saying. Watching your words, you know what I mean? So you got to be careful the way you're articulating, the way that you're saying things. Maybe you're trapped up in your emotions. Before I would put my foot in my mouth and not correct myself, and now I correct myself immediately. So correct yourself. I even said there was a situation where I hate freaking texting because it never comes out the right way. But it was just like, I meant this. Like, I corrected myself, and like, it kept bothering me, and I'm like, I meant this. And they're like, oh, no, I got it. It's, I talk weird. And I said, I don't talk correctly. And they're like, no, you're fine. I understand. I got it. I'm like, okay, great. Like, I talk like I'm in the middle of a story, and they already know what's going on, and it's just like, no, that's not the case at all. It's like, explain to me the who's, why, the who, what, where's, and why's. You know what I mean? And I just go right to the middle. This is why. And they're like, huh? So it's just like, you know, even when I said something, I remember I was with someone. I said, ooh, that was a real B word to say. And I'm like, I apologize. And I said, that was I was being a real B. And they just kind of like, yeah, you were. And I'm like, yeah, I apologize. Like, you know what I mean? When you realize you're like, that was really gross to say. Like, correcting yourself immediately because so it doesn't fester. It's like, definitely do that. Sit there and correct yourself. So we're going to get into the some goddess oracle cards here. So we have Erin, peace. So, she's in her emotions. We have the dolphins behind her. Very Queen of Cups. She has, it looks like a cornucopia, or what do they call that? That horn. Oh, I can't remember what it's called. I could see it though. It's like the cornucopia card from Energy Oracle cards. And it's just like, that is full, of blessings, harvest, you know what I mean? And she's caring for this child. She's able to balance both. You know what I mean? And this is where the universe is like, we're going to give you a break. You know what I mean? Like, you're spending too much time with work. You're not doing enough in this way. Sometimes it gets like that, especially when we go back to school. It's just like, you know what I mean? Like, we're doing biology right now, and it's just like, that is so detailed. Like, that is a lot of information. I enjoy it. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? We don't harm any animals. We just watch the video. I'm not about that. It's like, I understand hunters doing it for the point of feeding their family or providing for the family, fine. But I'm not about to cut an animal open for the sake of just looking at its parts. It's like, you know what? That's the great thing about YouTube. Someone has already done it. So leave the frog alone. So there is no need to worry as everything is working out beautifully. So maybe you're worried about a certain situation. Going back to my friend, she was worried about something. I gave her a reader. I said, this is going to happen. Both things have happened. Literally, both things have happened. And, obviously in that between time, they call it void, of course. As we're waiting for it to happen, we get apprehensive. We get impatient. So I feel like this is reassurance that things are going to turn out beautifully. Like, yeah, we do get worried. Definitely that's where it's like you got to get yourself away from the news where it's like this, toxic, toxic, toxic. You know what I mean? Inflation going down to 7.6. I'm like, okay, maybe we'll be able to afford butter. You know what I mean? Like, but I'm sorry, I'm not paying no $10 for butter. Sorry. You know what I mean? It's like, keep your butter. I like basil anyway. You know what I mean? But it's just like, I feel like it's just like assurance that, we see you working towards your goals. We see what your manifestations are. We know you believe. We know that you're putting the hard work in, and it will turn out. It may not turn out as quickly as you want it to, but it's like, even myself, it's like understanding what certain things have to fall in place before it happens. So what is the game plan as we move forward? You know what I mean? So it's having patience. I did this. I sat there and I was like, I should have given up. And they said that, just leave it alone. We'll start looking again in March. I was like, nope. I was just gun ho. I just like, I'm gonna look one more time and then I'm giving up. It showed up. It was aesthetically beautiful. I didn't turn on the water or anything like that. I just was like gun ho to move, and I was like, what did I just do? You know what I mean? It was infested with mold and mice. I was just like, now we call it the mold and mouse house. You know what I mean? So it's just like, sometimes it pays to be patient. I love this card. Very beautiful. Kuan Yin. Compassion. I didn't do the Chinese oracle because I'm trying to cut down the videos. I'm like, how can I cut it down? So I'm like, starting taking things out. So releasing judgments about yourself and others, and focus on the love and light that is within everyone. I feel like it's more judgment of yourself. I don't feel like it's judgment of others. Like, you know what I mean? Like, a certain situation happened. It's like, no, can't be judgment. I'm not judging at all. I'm just like, I wish you the best. You know what I mean? I wish I would have, it would have been a better goodbye, but what can you do? Some goodbyes are just that. It's just, I was saddened by it and heartbroken, but at the end of the day, it's like, it is what it is. If in my eyes, if they wanted me to know sooner, they would have told me. So, You know what I mean? That's all you got to do. At the end of the day, it's their life. I wish them nothing but the best and move forward. That's all you can do. You know what I mean? Everybody's goals and aspirations are different. Some people are able to make certain moves. You know what I mean? God bless them on their adventures ahead. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure we'll stay in contact, but you know what I mean? It's just like, dang, man. Like, this is where you wish, like, all that's going on in the world wasn't going on, and you could give them a hug and be like, I wish you nothing but the best, but, at the end of the day, what can you do? And I feel like, you know, finding that peace within, you know what I mean? Maybe you've been warring with yourself, and it's just like, find that peace within. You'll watch how everything just falls into place. Everything will be a lot more calm. Chi, you know what I mean? Just that calm in the house and in yourself. So we have Aphrodite, an inner goddess. We have the dove there, some inner peace. Awakening the goddess within you through dance, self care, and appreciating your divinity. I feel like self care, you know? We're getting a lot of stars in her background, very much like the star card, but it's like making time for yourself, doing something kind for yourself, doing something just for you. You know what I mean? Not everybody has to understand what you're doing. Just carving out that little piece. Remember they were saying with the Gemini, your own Garden of Eden. You know what I mean? Like, your sanctuary. And people may not understand it. That's totally fine. It's not their house to understand. Go home and understand your household. You know, people are so judgmental. It's like go home and understand your home. You don't have to come to mine. I'll probably mess up this one. Damara, guiding children. So you are good at helping, consoling, healing children. Use your skills to help children now. So going back to, with the peace card, she's holding a child, and I feel like it's a cornucopia, the cornucopia card. When you have the horn full of fruits and vegetables, harvesting, providing, Queen of Cups, Queen of Pentacles. You know what I mean? I definitely feel like that's going hand in hand. You know what I mean? I feel like maybe that's where all this love is coming from. You've given this love to them, and now they're going to give it back to you. You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? It's not even so much like when you're older. It's just like even the fact that they respect you, or they say something that's like jaw dropping. You're just like, you never thought in a million years that your kids would ever articulate those kind of words to you. Very hermit energy. I think this is called siege. Quiet time. Taking some quiet time alone to rest, meditate, and contemplate. Meditation. Going back to Kuan Yin meditation pose. You know what I mean? Taking time for yourself, getting your aura right. You know what I mean? Making yourself right. You know what I mean? Getting your energy right. Sometimes we absorb situations that we shouldn't be absorbing. Sometimes we carry things with us that, sometimes, like in your emotions, like that situation where it's just like, taken aback, in shock, you know what I mean? And it's just like, you can't carry it with you. You know what I mean? You can't let it affect you. You know what I mean? You just got to sit there and, just be like, okay, it is what it is. You can't do nothing to change the situation. You know what I mean? Just keep carrying forward, Sometimes things happen in life, and all you could do is just be like, okay, I'll salute. That's all you can do. You got to learn to let it go. So we have the moon. Love that. So the full moon in September, they've been highlighting this cycle. The two torches. So I definitely feel like a strong barrier. I feel like a strong pillar. Adventure. Calling. This is where it's maintaining boundaries again. Aren't we going back into the grind of things with full time work? Maybe we were taking time off in the summer. Kids were off. Now it's getting back to the grind of things. You know what I mean? They're all standing in water. So, highly intuitive Pisces here, using our intuition, using our emotional intelligence during Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde is a communication time, but it also could be a very emotional time. You know what I mean? That's why I'm saying be careful with your intestines. If you know this is a time that you cycle, I definitely would stock up on pain medicine. If you get bloated, things that take away your bloating, just watch what you're eating at this time. I just definitely would, rest. I feel like that's what they're saying. You're just woo-sowing at this time. This guy kind of looks like Candyman. The first one. So the Four of Pentacles. Release all fear, worry, doubt, because everything is okay. What did we talk about earlier? You know, Destiny making, was it Destiny? Yes, making, making lemonade out of lemons, making the most of a situation. What we were just talking about. What I just, everyone's just like, didn't you know? No, I didn't know anything. I'm just as in shock as you are, if even more dumbfounded than anyone, because I thought we were closer than that. You know what I mean? So it's just like, you know, like I said, maybe they did it for a reason. Maybe they were afraid people would find out sooner. Maybe that's just the way they wanted everyone to find out. But I feel like it's like, release that. You know what I mean? And sometimes it's hard. You know what I mean? It's just like you're so used to living a certain way, things are now going another way, and it's just like you're waiting. You know what I mean? It's just like, well, live positively. Keep how do you keep that momentum up? Keep living the way that towards your goals. Keep doing the having discipline when it comes to finances. Like House of Dragons is coming on. I love to light candles. I actually said to Michael, I'm like, how is it House of Dragons playing now? And it's friggin' hot as heck, and you can't, like, I have candles on for this. It ain't helping the situation any, but it's just like, you know, it's aesthetically pleasing. I like having candles on when I do this, but I feel like that's what they're saying. It's like, do things that make you happy. Give yourself, you know what I mean? Don't feel like I would used to sit there and it's just like, even though, like, during Christmas break, I sat there and I worked during Christmas break. I had a day and a half to myself. I'm sitting there watching my favorite show and I felt bad for it. I always feel guilty about it. And I'm like, why do you feel guilty about it? Because you carved out a little piece of heaven for yourself? You should not feel bad for carving out a piece of heaven for yourself. You know what I mean? You did everything you can. It's time to relax. It's time to woos out. It's okay to put up your feet. Sometimes we have to give ourselves permission that you don't want the universe to do it to you. You know what I mean? When the universe does it to you, that's a hard lesson learned. It's just like learn to rest. So we get another beginning, we're talking about higher selves. So like, with Mercury retrograde, sometimes we go through it to learn a lesson. Sometimes we have to go to the higher levels of thinking here. So we have, with the full moon, intuitive Pisces. Pisces all about water and emotional situation. So it's like keeping ourselves grounded. What do we get? The star card, keeping our emotions balanced. So keeping yourself balanced. Do a meditation. Do a couple meditations. You know what I mean? Go for walks. Get yourself outside. Do things that make you happy. But they're saying in this particular situation, um, to, you know, if you're on the right side of karma and you're doing this, if you're doing something and it's for the right reasons, it will turn out in your favor. You know what I mean? If you're doing things that are shady and manipulative and hurting people, you know what I mean, purposeful of harm, then you will not be the victor. We're in the reason in this situation. You got to be on the right side of things. A lot of threes here. Three of Pentacles. We were talking about the Three of Pentacles, right? So when we have the three hearts here, Three of Pentacles. Here he's like firing it. His work is out on display. He's by himself in this situation. This could be a solo mission. It could be a solo mission here where you're doing it yourself. You came, or maybe this is the universe coming with these ideas for you. You know what I mean? You have this. You were born with the skill set. You were born to do this. They're talking about destiny. They're talking about children. You know what I mean? Talking about you being the Queen of Pentacles, the Queen of Cups. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter if you're feminine or masculine. They have Pentacles. They have Cups. It's like you are a giver. You are a provider. You are a nurturer. Empress. This is Empress in the highest. So you got to be the Empress to yourself sometimes. You know what I mean? He's sitting there showing his workout on display. Look at my great idea. Look at what I made, or for sale. Like, you know what I mean? But I definitely feel like it's just like look how this turned out. You know what I mean? Being proud of yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. Maybe this is like, when you have some free time, maybe you're a creative person. Like I used to say, like, I would sit there and put on some tunes and I would sit there and do a doll. I'm making some creation out of a doll, like a Living Dead doll or a Monster High doll, whatever it was. You know what I mean? That was one of my favorite things to do. So maybe it's like getting back into your artistic abilities, like now we're inside a little more and then, it's going to be raining a little bit more. So maybe like, you and the kids get some arts and crafts kits and you guys are creating art, Halloween's upon us. Like, I know they already have Halloween stuff out. It's like, getting those little, like the kids will make them and I'll sit there and get the magnet, strips and I'll put a little bit of glue on the back and I turn them into magnets. You know what I mean? For the fridge. So it's just like There's so many different things you can do. Fun thing that everybody enjoys. You know what I mean? So it's just like, why not take the time and sit there and do it? So our last card is the Four of Cups, and it's like sometimes we sit there and we have these cups and we're like, nah, we're not satisfied with it. But it's like, or we're growing thirsty. It looks like he's trying to give him this cup, like in the like to drink from. You know what I mean? You're drinking from an empty cup, and the universe is it's like here. Like it's kind of um many situations, but the one in particular when Abraham, told his concubine, his wife's maid servant, to leave because she bore him a son. And, the baby was crying. They had no food and they had no water. And God was like, look, there, go fill your sack. There's a thing of water. She couldn't, you know what I mean? It's just like sometimes you feel in that dire thing. But it's like, I feel like when you see the three cups, it's just like, you know what? Be satisfied with what you have. Be grateful. Name off everything you are grateful for in life. You know? They're saying in particular to a certain situation. You know what I mean? I feel like there's still more to come. I still feel like strive for your goals. You will achieve them. You know? I definitely feel like this is going to be an emotional time, especially with retrograde with energy. You know what I mean? Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur. There's a lot of magic in the air. If you are the Hebrew faith, you know how highly charged that energy is. Um, you know what I mean? I just definitely feel like do what feels right to you. Do what charges you. Do what makes sense to you. You know, and make yourself happy. Your own Garden of Eden. Even if anyone else doesn't understand it, do what keeps you happy. You know, I definitely feel like they're saying this is a time for you. This is a time of self love. Rose Court. I was gonna put my Rose Court on the other side of Gaia here, and I'm like, oh, maybe that's a little too much. You know, I definitely feel like it's like, look how you sit there and love on others. Now it's time to love on yourself. We're gonna love on you. Get ready to receive these blessings, like the Ace of Swords. If you're on the right side of things, then we'll definitely be here for you. So I hope you guys enjoyed this forecast and projection for the new moon on August 27th of 2022 in zodiac sign Virgo. May the universe bless you good. Love on yourself. We'll see you for the next daily tarot card. Bye.